Welcome to Alive in Healthcare. My name is Lillian DeFries, and today I want to talk to you about nursing leadership circles. What are nursing leadership circles? There's a buzz around the hospitals now that some nurses have gone through these circles and people are really curious about what they are. So I did this little video just to give you a little flavor and taste of what they are. To begin with, let's talk about the concept of what circles are. Circles are about creating a new way of finding each other, to coming together. It's an opportunity to be heard, an opportunity to listen, an opportunity to learn, and to get the healing from our tribe in the circle. When we come together to converse in a circle, this is the simplest form of finding each other. We are really all looking for humanity in the simplest form, and Circle actually does that. So how do we actually start? Because when we gather the nurses and ask them to volunteer to be part of this project, they come in a little bit skeptical and wondering, okay, what is this? This is not the way we've been learning all the time, right? We're used to e-learning or workshops, conferences, things like that. In the Circle, it is our job as facilitators to make them safe and feel comfortable. And the very, very first thing that has to happen in any circle when we bring nurses together is to create that safety by allowing them to vent. There's a lot of anger, resentment, hurt that needs to be heard by everyone. We know that when we're in an argument with somebody, that they don't feel like they want to listen to anything or go to a solution until they've been heard. So as facilitators, we need to create that in a safe way where they can do that, and we have a method of creating that. Once they've done that, we move on to the next piece, which is really about, okay, so now that we know that we think this way and react this way, what is it that we want? And is what we're doing actually providing the impact we want? Is it actually helping us achieve our goal? And what is our goal? So all those things together are a great place to start in the circle. This creates camaraderie. It creates the tribe that's about to happen, that comes together and gets co-created together. So where do we go from here? In the circles, we actually have two phases. The first phase is leading self. Leading self is all about learning about ourselves. What makes us tick? What makes us angry? What are our values? What are our worldviews? What are other people's worldviews? Where do we get them from? How are we actually voicing what we want or don't want? What's the impact? So learning about ourselves is the very first piece. And in that, we're learning a little bit about how to ask questions, how to listen, how to be heard, those kinds of things. Then we move on to phase two. Phase two is about engaging others and systems thinking. So engaging others, well, we've just learned about ourselves and we started to learn about other people in the group. So how do we now use some of the skills we've learned in phase one, coaching skills, the way we listen, the way we communicate, the way we get what we want to get, how do we use that with others so that we are honoring them and honoring ourselves? This is about learning how to engage with not only our peers, but also our patients and the families, and actually moving towards patient-centered care, which how do we get the patients to be involved, engage them to be involved like we are, while we're still looking after ourselves. The systems thinking component, which is the added bonus to this engaging others, is looking at the organization. What is the organization trying to make happen? What is happening in the world, and how does all this fit into the bigger picture? How do we, a small part of that, fit into the bigger picture and still validate who we are on this earth as humans? So once we put all those components together, we find that the nurses actually walk away with a much more clear sense of self-worth. They're reconnected to the passion of nursing. They're reconnected to humanity, which is like the key to everything, which changes the culture of the organization. So people start to talk differently. The words that they use, the way they speak is different. It's even been seen in meetings where some of the nurses from the circles are sitting in a meeting, and it starts to get a little heated, conversations start going, and one of the nurses puts her fingers up and goes, circle. And the other circle nurse sits back and goes, ah, yes. And we ask them, what does that mean when somebody says that? Well, I knew. Pause. Stop for a moment. Listen. Before being heard, listen to other people's perspectives and points of view. And look at things from a different perspective. When we start to pause, which is something that's fascinating in these groups, is when they actually learn to stop, not go on that hamster wheel and just keep turning to the to-do list and get things done. Then they learn that they actually, by pausing, they actually move forward a lot faster because they start to co-create. They start to come from a place of purpose and intention versus just doing. They are showing up as who they want to be in this, and they invite others to do the same. So from here we move on to the impact of what these circles has done and how this is all changing the way nurses are feeling. When we asked them at the beginning of the 6-month phase 1, what they wanted to get out of this, they said, you know, actually all we want is to be able to go home at the end of our shift, feel like we've done the best we could for our patients, that we kept them safe, that we got the bare minimum done that was necessary, and that we don't go home feeling guilty, frustrated, resentful, angry, and turn to bad behaviors because, you know, when we're doing these kinds of things, we turn to, you know, it's been known, alcohol, food, poor life habits. And then we're not resentful with our family because who do we take it out on? We take it out mostly on the people we love. So all those things are starting to change. So my invitation here now is to go to our YouTube videos and watch some of the videos about some of the things that we've learned in Circle. And go to our website at www.aliveinhealthcare.com and see what other questions you might have. Reach out to us and ask. I'd love to have that human conversation with you and see what we can do together to help our nurses. So for today, do whatever it takes to feel alive.